Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. Okay, uh, just tired today for some reason. I haven't quite woke up yet. What I'm going to show you is our part, not the whole thing, part of our, I don't even want to call it a medical kit, first aid kit. This is the, and this folds down. If I hold it up so you can see it, let me see if I can get that out. There. Okay. Now, this is part of it because we actually have one of those clear plastic crates that we have more supplies in. And we have an M3 Medics bag that's in that crate with supplies. So this is not standalone. We would use some other things, but I need to put them together. This is silk thread. It's not cheap. Bought it at the Joann Fabric. And
is that white silk thread?
Yeah. Or white or ivory or
Yeah,
see if it.
So it's not colored.
No. So I figured, oh, Swiss made, wow. I figured this would match the skin a little closer than.
Well, sometimes they use black thread for.
Oh, they do.
Stitches, you know. Well, I mean.
Oh, so you can see it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Now, like I said, this is not a standalone kit. Now,
Kit.
some things you could use in your kit. Some people might say, how would I use that?
When sew yourself up one day.
Well, yeah, definitely, and it's silk, so it's natural. And they used to use silk. I don't know what they use now. They used to use catgut, yeah, catgut and silk. Anyway.
Ooh, 557.
Oh, sweetie. Do we need to go to the hospital?
I want to. Let me take a shot.
Okay. No, what was I saying? Anyway.
You normally use catgut.
Catgut, yeah.
Because it dissolves, I think.
The body absorbs it, yeah. Women's feminine products. Yes, those are useful.
They can be used as bandages.
Exactly. Now, the one that's long, not thin and long, but the
like a maxi pad.
Yeah, that you can use as a bandage. The ones that look like a big pencil or a cigar, tampons. If there's an open wound, you can put that in there. It'll expand.
You can probably use a panty liner if that was a pad.
Yeah.
Because they absorb a fair amount.
Yeah.
Depends on which absorbent you get.
Yeah. So the ones we have are like maximum absorbency.
We just bought them at the dollar store.
Yeah, we bought ours at the dollar store, so you don't have to.
Hey, expensive. Right.
Yeah, and our dollar store is $1. It's not like some. Yeah, it's not like some of these dollar stores that.
Dollar plus taxes.
Yeah, but
we don't have taxes.
No, we don't have a sales tax here. But another point I would like to make, as was pointed out to me by one of my cousins on my dad's side, there is no point in having a medical kit if you don't know how to use what's in it.
Yeah.
If there's an emergency and it's only you and the injured person, and you're like, okay, well, we have a medical kit, and you pull the medical kit out, and you look at it like,
help.
Yeah, what do I do now? Well, then it's not any good to you. It's absolutely worthless. It might be more dangerous because you don't know what you're doing. You might wind up killing a person who's not, it may turn out isn't that badly wounded, you know, who doesn't have that severe of an injury. Now this kit, let's see if I can show it. It has wound care burn blister. That's this section. First aid manual. From yeah, they have some nice stuff, but it's way overpriced.
The sporting goods store.
Yes, Sam's is it?
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean they have nice stuff, but it's overpriced. You can get some of the same stuff at Walmart. Not a lot of it at Walmart, but you can get some of it there. And you know there are other places like Pelletiers, and what town is Pelletiers? Anyway, we've gone.
No, not Peterborough.
Anyway, Pelletiers also has nice stuff. And, yeah, they're cheaper. They're not Walmart priced by any stretch, but they're a lot cheaper than Sam's.
They're a lot friendlier.
Oh, definitely, definitely, and helpful and everything.
Lucky.
And the guy who owns it runs it, so
Stay away from Trader John.
yeah, stay away from Trader John.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's just.
Bite your head off.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, and also this did not come with this, but I'm going to show it. There's a pin light.
Lucky. Hey.
That's our dog Lucky rubbing. I'm going to actually go ahead and put it in here because it actually goes with something else. It goes. We bought a. Actually, we bought this separately, but we bought an EMT pocket that you put on like your belt, and we bought the pin at the same time. That is in the medical box. Another thing we put in our medical box is OTC, over-the-counter medications, because if things really were to break down, you wouldn't have pharmacies to go to, so you would have to rely on what you have. Yeah. So there are some over-the-counter products that you like melatonin. It's just from what I've been able to find, if you're going to use melatonin, you need to use a much larger dose than what the bottle says. Something called HTP5, I believe, which isn't cheap, but you know, we can buy bottles of melatonin, HTP5, and the like without a prescription, so we can stock up on that. So if we wound up without medication, we'd still have the over-the-counter stuff. It may not be quite the same, but it would be helpful. The thing is, like HTP5, you don't want to take that and the prescription medicine because it will
mess you up.
Yeah, mess you up. So there's, you know, you just don't want to do that. Okay, I mean, but we got a straw and gave it to John.
He thinks it's a toy.
John loves straws.
He loves straws.
But
it's a toy.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd to see a cat fascinated with a straw.
Yeah.
He throws it around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Okay, I want to show you this one last thing. I'll do a better medical kit video eventually, but the stuff has to be organized. Okay. This came in today. This is a sustainment pouch, Molly 2. sustainment pouch, and this came in. This is a MOLLE for the entrenching tool. So I took the entrenching tool out of the pocket that it was in. So I have more. I have room in that pocket because that's about all that would fit in that pocket. And like the MOLLE, the sustainment pouch is this, and it has a drawstring. Let's see if it, well, it's not actually, I don't think it'll quite fit, but that's okay. It might actually, but I'll have to work on it. But we have other things, but we have to, organize the medical supplies, which we really haven't done. But now that I have these sustainment pouches on the pack, that makes the pack more versatile. So I take and they really do snap on. The snaps don't just come right off. See, here's one of the sustainment pouches. That way, that doesn't have to go in a pack, and it's more if something were to happen to one of us, especially if something were to happen to me, my fiance would have to cannibalize. Supposed to be for not practice. I may cut these shorter, but as I was thinking, I could tie these to the back of the Alice pack, some of this to the back of the Alice pack, and then I would have cord to practice knot tying in field. I wouldn't have to. So because knowing your knots is important. I used to rock climb, but I never used protection, so I didn't have to know knots. I mean, I don't know what it's like today, but back then people didn't wear helmets, they didn't use ropes, and if you don't have ropes, you don't have any need for the anchors and cams and all that. So I don't know if people have become more safety conscious. I mean, the thing is, there weren't many injuries. I mean, considering the risks involved with rock climbing, injuries were few and far between. You get scraped up, you get bruised, but there weren't serious injuries, I mean, yeah, occasionally somebody would fall, but once you start up the rock, and if you can't find holds, you just don't go. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, I remember going to Buzzard's Roost, and I get up there, I'm like, where am I supposed to climb? There's no place to climb. Yeah, in the guide it says it's a good place to go. I went more than once to Buzzard's Roost. Nothing.
Pretty bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, a guide tells you, go here. You go there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. I'm like, that was a waste of my time. Well, I shouldn't say a waste. I learned something from it. Now, on the south face of Enchanted Rock, on the other hand, oh boy, there were lots of places to go straight up. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. And one other thing I would say is when you're putting your bug out bag together, keep in mind weight distribution, because this may not weigh a whole lot, but it still weighs something. And the more you add to it, the heavier things get. The heavier things get, the more tiring it's going to be out there. So, you know, and if you're having to bug out, let's say it's a natural disaster, you need to get away from that area. The disaster may spread. I mean, like flooding, it may get higher and higher, go further and further inland, if you will. If it's, I lived outside of Houston for 11 years, and over off the ship channel where they had all the refineries and things like that, you know, there were explosions on a regular basis. Some were quite severe, and you know, sometimes they never find the bodies. They just poof, you know. And sometimes it may take days for people to get in there because they don't know what chemicals are there. I mean, I don't remember if it was Union Carbide or DuPont, but we went to, because my welding teacher in high school, he worked at one or both. I think he had worked at both of those at one point or another, but one of those he retired from. And he was telling us that, you know, and mind you, this is the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, sometime around there. Some of the vats, the big metal containers outside, they would push chemicals through into those vats. Well, they didn't always really flush the vats, so you didn't really know what was in there, because over the years, over the decades, that stuff would build up in there. So when let's say it did explode, you didn't really know what you were dealing with. It could be nothing, or it could be something extremely serious. Other times, some of these places were flushed and cleaned, but not all of them were. So over time, all those chemicals build up. And you know, when you have a situation like that, you may have toxic fumes or a toxic cloud that's just going to keep going and going and going. And if the wind is at your back, that means it's blowing that stuff toward you. So you need to keep going. You may have to go fast. And the more weight on you, depending on your terrain, the terrain's an issue. Like our terrain is rough. We wouldn't be able to go very far very fast. It has a nice store, all that. We bought our High Point 40 uh, from him, and he was helpful about it. You know, the only thing for me at this point, the 40, I can hold the 40, it fits my hand fine. But we need to get, it's kind of big and bulky for my fiance, and I don't like that. I would, if she needs to hold and control a pistol, it needs to be something she can comfortably handle. And I just, like I said, it's big and bulky for her. So I would like to get her either a 380 or a 9mm, probably a 9mm, and a little more powerful than a 380. And that way she would, and not a High Point. I like High Points, don't get me wrong, but High Points didn't, like I said, tend to be bulky. I want something for her that will fit her hand better. I mean, if she can barely hold on to the freaking pistol, what's the point? You know, if she's going to shoot it once or twice and drop it, that's not good. You need to be able to control your gun. So we need to get her something that, as for the kick, she can shoot the most.